All the latest news. Let's go Rangers.
Blueshirt Underground, motherfucker!
Can't be as a Ranger bad. Can't be as a Ranger bad.
This is an unlawful gathering. This is an unlawful gathering.
Jim!
The truth is out there. The truth is out there.
This is the underground. This is new media. This is the underground.
Dreidel. I made it out of clay.
Ranger fans, report to the critical thinking hangar. Ranger fans, report to the critical thinking hangar.
And now here is the starting lineup for the New York Rangers. And now here is the starting lineup for the New York Rangers.
This is New York Rangers hockey. 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 This is New York Rangers.
Yes. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Blueshirt Underground Show. My name is Jim. Today is Monday. It is July 6th. July 6th. Thank you. As always, I am joined on the other side of the window by the one and only, the incomparable Edward Geik. Eddie, good evening, sir. How are you?
Well, I'm full of excitement. I don't know why. Well, I hope that you succeeded in your mission. I'm doing well. The family's doing well. All outside activities are at a screeching halt, but still, we forge on. We succeed where others have failed, and I'm looking forward to hearing about the progress you made with Sean Avery. I know that you came through for us if you could have. So hopefully Sean will be on the show. That was your task. I was just about to say me, of course, has no responsibility. I don't try to get anybody. And meanwhile, you do all the due diligence and the great work. And we're hit with the Price is Right horn.
Well, I did reach out to Sean Avery. I reached out to him on Instagram because it's the only method of social media that I know he uses himself. And I was told that somebody here in the chat says he does respond to direct messages. Well, I sent him one, told him who we are, what we're about, the whole bit, gave him the whole spiel, as they say. And but then I noticed that like 2 hours after I sent him that message, he posted a picture that he's on vacation somewhere with his wife. So I don't know how much social media I don't know how many messages he's checking. However, I hope. Can you still hear me?
No.
I just heard a pop in my headset. Okay. All right. I did, however, hopefully reach out to former New York Ranger, former Pittsburgh Penguin, former Tampa Bay Lightning, former Chicago Blackhawk. Who am I forgetting? Former Dallas Star, former Colorado Avalanche, and host of the Matthew Barnaby Unfiltered podcast, Matthew Barnaby. And Matthew has told me, and he has told the lovely Jennifer Eberhardt, that he will be here tonight at 7:30.
Wow.
We'll see. I wore my Liberty jersey just for Mr. Barnaby, because this is a jersey that he wore. I mean, not this actual jersey, but this style. So I put this one on tonight. I thought maybe this would, send the positive vibes, because this has been a bit of a long process with Mr. Barnaby. So we're hoping he makes it.
Yeah, I think that's great. If he shows up, wunderbar, as they say. Once again, you doing the crack legwork. getting us a guest, hopefully. Matthew was part of the Ranger team that was awful.
Bad.
Awful 3 years. So I would love to get his take. I've taken a gander at his podcast.
Fantastic. His podcast it's the second best podcast on the internet.
Well, he is unfiltered. I will tell you that much.
Did you watch his Brian Leach interview?
I did not see that. I was leading up to the Mike Harrington interview.
Oh yeah, Mr. Sorry pal, I don't do podcasts.
Yes, maybe he just does ex-players podcasts. We don't get cred for us lowly plebeians who don't get free access to Buffalo Sabres hockey.
Right.
Which Matthew is very critical of. I mean,
yes.
So hopefully, and his allegiance really lies with the Sabres. That's the team that drafted him. That's the team he played for the longest. And hopefully we can get some tidbits about his 3 years with the Rangers.
Yep. 3 seasons. Some of his best years of his career were with the Rangers, which is naturally why the Rangers traded him.
Right. He was just starting to
By the way, Matthew Barnaby was acquired for. How did the Rangers traded Zdeno? Give that man a cigar for Matthew Barnaby.
Disorder.
According to
panic disorder. Not that that's a joke, but I don't know why we got him in the first place if we knew that he had some psychological problems.
Another of our reclamation projects.
Yeah. Former
Glenn yes. According to one of Barnaby's podcasts, Glenn Sather told Matthew Barnaby that was one of the best deals he ever made. Was trading away Zdeno Seeger for Matthew Barnaby.
It was. Barnaby played some really good hockey with the Rangers.
The Leach interview he did was really good because Leach talks a little bit about when he first came up with the Rangers and how it was Espo and Bergeron, and he said young guys were getting traded, old guys were getting traded, and he told his I guess at the time it was pretty interesting. He was saying how at the time the Rangers were not allowed to live in the city, and he told his agent to get him a place in the city anyway because he was afraid he was going to be traded. He's like, I don't know how long I'm going to be here and have the opportunity to actually live in New York City. Get me a place in the city. And I guess he said the Rangers fought him on it for like a year, and then Messier showed up and said, no, I'm living in the city and you got to change this. And of course, for Mark Messier, they changed the rule. So I thought Leach was good. He was a good guest. He's not, he's not a great speaker, storyteller. He's very humble. He's very humble. He's quiet. He's not a guy that likes to talk about himself a lot. But I thought Barnaby did a good job getting some stories out of him.
Get Leach drunk, then he comes more forth with the information. But he just, he's my favorite player. Probably one of the greatest homegrown prospects, maybe of all time we've ever had. But as an interview, it's a snore fest usually. So it's good that Barnaby got something out of him.
It's just not his personality. It's just not. He's not. He even says at the end of because Barnaby starts asking about Adam Graves, and Brian Leach actually says, I wish I was a better public speaker and could put into words really what Adam Graves, the type of person he is and what he means to me and and everything he does. He says, I just can't speak that well. I can't form the words and speak in public that well. And it's just not his personality.
Yes. It's a lot to ask. He's like one of the all-time greatest defensemen, in my opinion, and he's got to be a good speaker.
Right. No. I don't need him to be Ronald Reagan, or Bill Clinton when he speaks. Just an update as of 7:15. Matthew Barnaby has not looked at the messages I sent him earlier on how to get on the show. So, but in fairness, you don't look at them either until it's about 5 minutes to showtime. So I'm still hopeful. And if not, we'll talk. We'll do the bracket. We're still in the second round. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, he shows up. If he doesn't, he doesn't.
Well, I was talking to Jim before the show about my feelings about the hockey season right now. Guys, you know how bipolar I am. I was so great there was going to be a play-in and the whole thing. And now I'm just like, hey, let's end the season. It's over. 4 months. Drag. And it's just like it doesn't have the feeling of last season.
Well, it's not. But it's not going to be last season. You got to look at this like a World Cup tournament where the Stanley Cup is going to be awarded.
And the momentum the teams built up going into the playoffs, into the stretch. Down the stretch they come. And now it's just like, let's just put these teams in a hub city and see what happens. I don't know, man. It's just it's bumming me out.
I think I saw the 20.
They throw us crumbs here and there. Oh, yeah, hub city, maybe.
I believe there's now a plan in place. I thought I saw today that July 24th is when these camps officially start or something like that. And then they're hoping for August 1st to be the first game of the Eddie Geik Memorial Stanley Cup Tournament. That's what they're calling it.
Wow. Well, now I'm back in.
See, that was all it took.
I'm back in. Just put my name on that trophy.
The Eddie Geik Memorial Stanley Cup Tournament.
Yeah,
sponsored by Bosco.
I love Bosco, you know that. What was I going to say? Yeah, so I'm a little disheartened. It's dragging. But we're already in it because they did the draft order. They can't not do the playoffs now. They got a placard team to get the number 1 pick.
Well, no, I think the plan is that if the season doesn't come off, then those eight teams get thrown in, all with an equal chance at that first pick or something like that, and then the rest. I don't know. They play Uno or Boggle or something
play bocce ball to the side. Okay. I mean, this is so stupid. They're gonna redo the draft. Oh boy. Let me tell you.
Where's the optimist that I sat next to here a month ago who was, I love this plan. At least the NHL has a plan.
Dude, it's the heat. It's too hot.
It's
like it's just like,
oh, Jimmy, it's so hot.
It's so hot. Oh, you know you're old when you're sitting outside and you're like, oh, that's a cool breeze. That's a good breeze.
Were you sipping on a country time lemonade?
Yeah.
Fanning yourself?
Oh, that breeze feels nice.
Oh.
When you're young, you don't care, but it's just I'm looking at the time. 4 months. I mean,
I'll take it.
You could have had a baby by the time the next season starts. I mean, I don't know. I'm a little disheartened. I need you guys to kind of get me through this tough point in my life. All right. Looks like the NHL and the NHLPA have come to terms. Mark Stahl has been granted a buyout. Henrik Lundqvist has been bought out. Let's get the season going. Now, I don't know what's going to happen.
I have a when you're ready, I want to play a video we have that I found of Matthew Barnaby, and I told you about this on Facebook. It's a video of him going at it with Aaron Asham, or as he was called early in his career, Asham.
A sham. He became later a
Asham.
Ranger. Later became
Yes.
a Ranger, rather, Adam.
Yes, but Barnaby, when he was with the Rangers, fought Asham, and the Islander. It was this video is the Islanders broadcast, and it's Howie Rose and Joe Micheletti, and Joe Micheletti is just being a complete Islanders shill. He calls Barnaby classless. He's yelling and screaming because Scatchard on the Islanders got a penalty when he never threw a punch, and he's just. I'm like, he never shills like this for us. He's still shilling for the other teams.
Yeah, he doesn't shill for us.
Oh, I see. Jen has joined us in the chat. She's at work. The update, Jen, is 7:20 p.m. Eastern daylight savings time, and Matthew Barnaby has not seen my Facebook message as of yet. So the world awaits. So anyway, I was brushing up on my Matthew Barnaby. I watched a few fight videos. He fought Chara a couple of times. One of the videos of him fighting Chara is he's with the Rangers, and JD's saying he's gonna need a ladder to fight Chara. He should get a Purple Heart for fighting Chara. He says
Chara is nobody to F with. Let me just tell you that, ladies and gentlemen. When he was with the Islanders, he was not very physical. The fact that he was on the Islanders, they had like a Hall of Famer and they traded him away with a Milbury, I think, traded him. I used to call him Charo because he wouldn't hit. Gucci. I used to yell at the Coliseum. He ain't gonna fight nobody. That big gawk. Meanwhile, he turns out he's no one you're gonna F with. I was wrong. You know, I may have said this on the show before. A lot of big guys, I was quick to judge because, they were highly touted and they didn't really have a great skill set. It took them a while to get their footing in the NHL. Chris Pronger was another one. When he's with the Whalers, I go, who is this big gawk? He can barely skate. Look at him. What a waste.
Who's this lummox?
Yeah. So I'm not good at evaluating big defensemen, apparently. So if Matt Barnaby doesn't show, you're going to have that Barnabas, whatever his name, from the Dark Shadow show up. What's that guy's name?
Barabbas?
Yeah,
Barnabas? Barabbas? I don't
something like that. It's close enough. But, what else was I got to say? So I feel like I'm laboring as far as this Senate, but they're in camp. Are they in some kind of camp, the Rangers now?
The Rangers have all arrived. I saw Ryan Strome tweeted to Sean McCaff today on Twitter that he's arrived in camp. So
Ryan Strome is now communicating with Sean McCaff.
Yes. Well, I think Sean McCaff tagged him in a post or something that he hadn't arrived yet, and he responded and said, I'm here. So in between McKenna, Sean McCaff trying to get
was he a late bloomer?
When is he?
He was just a goon.
He bloomed? He bloomed?
I don't think so.
He bloomed?
He could fight, though. He could throw the Dukes. Steve McKenna, wow. Holy noli. That's a name. So the Rangers are in. They're in camp. Is the Swedish man is he in camp or is he
he's arrived?
All right.
By the way, just one more bit of trivia on Matt Barnaby. He was traded for, I believe, who is still the tallest player to ever play for the Rangers. Speaking of big men. Do you remember who that is?
I
believe he's the tallest.
Harry York.
I think this guy was Chris McAllister. Chris McAllister. Do I have that? That's it, right? Yes. Chris
Yeah, he's just the
McAllister,
host of
6'8".
One Drama. You met him.
He was what? The host of
The
One
host of One
Drama.
He was a
Kids
defender.
are people. I think he was a
AEM coming in with the Steve McKenna jokes.
Chris
I like it.
McAllister was a defenseman, 6'8", 250 pounds. A beast.
Oh my God. I can hear those Bluto Ranger fans going nuts right now. 6'8". We need toughness.
724. Matt Barnaby has not seen my messages yet.
This is waiting to see like a shooting star or the eclipse.
Right? It's like waiting for
Will
that
it happen?
SpaceX to take off.
Will he pull a Neil Smith?
Joe Catroni asked me today, what guests have we booked that didn't show? And the only two that I could think of were Neil Smith and Jocelyn Guavermont, who then came on the next week. He made good.
Yes.
Neil Smith did not. Never even sent me like, hey, I'm sorry, I forgot. Nothing.
Right. I mean, those were, whoa, yeah. I mean, listen, I like Neil Smith as a GM, but you don't screw this show over.
That's right. We don't forget.
Yes. You don't fuck with the family. Also, I was thinking of something that I forgot. So I guess I forgot that.
Sorry.
Jocelyn Gavermont. I remember one thing from that interview. Now, you're probably saying, who the fuck is Jocelyn Gavermont? He played, I think, one season with the Rangers, maybe 1.5. And I remember him talking about the Sabres and how that Gilbert Perreault, Richard Martin, the French Connection line, it was Rene Robert as well.
Right.
Him slagging Rene Robert, saying he really was just a product of the other two guys being very good.
Yes.
Saying anybody could have done what Rene Robert did.
Well, he was a good interview. It was fun. I remember him saying, this is the most I've ever talked about my career in one sitting. Because I think we had him on the phone for about an hour. He was entertaining. And he wasn't real happy about his time with the Rangers because he was hurt. And I think the Rangers tried to say he wasn't hurt. I forget what the dispute was, but there was some kind of dispute regarding an injury between him and the Rangers.
It's funny how
check on Barnaby.
In the past, you're going back to the Leach thing, that the Rangers tried to keep everybody out of the city, not to get in trouble. But now you would think being in the city would help you get that vibe of the city and, be part of the city, which is now the case.
Right.
I mean, most of the guys live in the city. You see Zibanejad, he's all decked out, doing his DJ and whatever. So, good night, everybody. So, what else is on my mind? Ranger related. I know in the collective bargaining agreement of the CBA, and I guess what they call it, the players were not. They were pretty much in the concession mode. They were not fighting them tooth and nail. That's the word I got on the street.
Right.
And I also been hearing these rumors, confirm or deny, especially birthday boy Chris Johnert, one of my favorite acolytes, one of the cool dudes of the universe. Him and his brother, known as the Seaman Brothers. Him and John Johnert. Anyway, wanted to say that people say the players are kind of lukewarm on this whole playing during the COVID thing. Is that what you're hearing? Is that what the fans at home are hearing?
I have heard that from baseball players, and I've heard it from basketball players, but I have not heard that coming from hockey players. I know there's some baseball players that have said they will not participate in this shortened season. So,
All right.
that's just that's the word on the street. I've not heard that from hockey players.
All right. Right. Well, that's good. All right. Maybe I'm feeling a little bit better now.
Getting back into this thing now, the Eddie Geik Memorial Stanley Cup Tournament.
Wow.
We need a banner.
It's so hot.
We need a banner.
I mean, like blasting the air conditioner, watching these games. Oh God! I wish I had a pool I could go into between periods. Oh, oi. So, what else you got? Was just counting the seconds till Barnaby gets here.
He still has not read my messages. It is now 7:30 on your AM dial. So
On the
we're gonna
doomsday clock.
we'll press on without him. We'll press on without him. If he shows,
Yeah,
he shows. If he done, he done.
That's right. We're not going to stop the show for anybody.
That's right. We've got a tournament to get to, and I don't mean the Eddie Geik Memorial Stanley Cup Tournament. I mean the Blueshirt Underground Bracket of Misery awaits, which we will get back to.
You know,
if we don't have a guest.
I remember when we were doing the bracket a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about the JP Parisi goal. I've actually found footage of the goal, but unfortunately, it's on NHL.com, so it would totally kill. I didn't realize that goal came so quickly into overtime. At the time, it was the quickest overtime goal ever in that game.
First minute, 2 minutes, something like that. I don't remember.
I don't have it exactly, but I know it was at.
Where's Mike Smith? He would know right away.
Right, he would know. So what a shot!
That guy is he's a fountain of Ranger information.
Yeah, he's always sending us clips and things like that, which is good. All right, let's get to the bracket.
Yeah,
because I don't think Barnaby's going to show up, and if he does, he's going to feel my wrath.
Is he?
Yeah. Well,
Costa's here to chat. Do you want to talk? You want to talk to Costa first? Or do you want to do the bracket and we'll get to Costa? Costa.
What is Costa going to add? He's got something to say? Remember, I'm hot. My patience is thin.
Know.
The only thing part of me that's thin is my patience.
You're very cantankerous tonight. Oh. Matt Barnaby just read my Facebook messages. Ladies and gentlemen, there's progress.
That's progress.
Oh boy. This could be something.
Maybe he heard he was I was my threats.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what it was. You don't even want to leave the house because it's too hot.
Fans, I'm too hot. Barnaby, get on this show. I'm schwitzing over here. Oh boy. Sean Avery's going to be coming up any minute.
Costa dropped off. And so he apparently he probably thought about it and said, "Nah, I don't really have anything to say, so I'll just drop off." So we'll wait another couple of minutes here. We'll see if Matt shows up, and we'll go from there.
What does he think? This is a real show, and we have filler. I mean, we don't really have filler. We have
it's all filler.
Content. Wow,
we've been on filler since March 12th. That's filler.
You're right. You're right. High quality filler, I think. All right, let's go to the bracket.
Hang on a second.
Okay.
Apple or
sending him the link. Look at him. It's all.
I sent him the link, but hang on. Hang on a second for me.
It's very intense over here. Look at it. The crowd.
All right, he was messaging me for technical support, so
Just click
could
a
be
button,
just
Matt.
minutes away, ladies and gentlemen.
You think what happened? Gary Bettman and the ghost of Clarence
what were we
Campbell on.
I'd rather talk to Matt Barnaby than Bettman. What are we going to get out of Bettman
I know,
except heartburn?
What about the ghost of Clarence Campbell? We'll do a seance to get him to talk about the good old days.
We're just waiting. So there's no sense pulling the bracket over because we're.
Is Capo Caco here? That's a question.
Let's see. Hold on. We got it. We got Matt on a golf cart. It looks like.
Wow, I gotta say this is Chris Island-esque already.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the program former New York Ranger, number 36, Matt Barnaby. Matt, good evening. Jim and Eddie with you.
Guys,
how are you? It looks like you're enjoying this. You're enjoying yourself out there.
Yeah, we're on hole number 40. I'm watching a big money match now. I'm not involved anymore because I'm doing the podcast, but yeah, big money match today. Crazy. Some good golfers and big money on the line.
Now, hockey players are known to be really good golfers. How good of a golfer are you?
I'm like a 5 handicap, so I can hit it. I can screw it up. I can be an asshole. I can be a really good player. You know, depending on the day. Depends how much booze is involved. Today, a lot.
Drinking is always
really bad.
We encourage our guests to drink, Matt.
We've had many ex-players on that have been drunk, including Chris Nyland, a couple other dudes. Wayne Gretzky was actually drunk on this show.
Wayne Gretzky was, yeah, he had a buzz going when he was on our show.
Oh, Nyland's awesome. Gretzky's the man, of course. We know that. We're in a hole just well. It's a unbelievable shot here. Wait a second.
Okay. I think we got a bad signal here.
Players ever play the game. You can say Gretz, but Gretz can play golf too. Gretz loves to play.
He likes to golf. All right, let's ask the questions. Let's get down to business. Matthew Barnaby, you played 3 years with the New York Rangers. What the hell was your takeaway from those atrocious teams?
He's having some signal. Oh, we lost him. Signal's not good wherever he is.
Still a crackling, though.
We lost him. Yeah. We lost the signal.
I'm not seeing the chat anymore.
Can you hear me?
There he is.
There you go. Yeah, your signal's just cutting in and out a little bit. It's a little better now. Oh, and he's gone. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Matt Barnaby. At least he got here.
We actually the connection. I tried to fire off a real fast question.
Hang on.
Why isn't my chat room working?
Yeah, the chat room appears to be like stuck. I don't know if that's a YouTube thing or a BeLive thing or what's going on there.
Well, I'm glad he took the time out to call us when he had some free time. And where the hell is he? It's 7:30 and he's golfing.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Had a slight blip there. We're getting some bad weather too at the same time, so everything's
Oh, I see it lighting up back there.
everything's just conspiring against us.
Where
Hang on,
is
let me
he
mess.
at 7:30 that it's golfing? Is he in Florida?
Well, it was pretty sunny out. I don't know where he is, but it looked awful sunny even for 7:30 at night. Oh,
Well,
but I'm trying to see. Our chat room is still kind of wonky, but I don't know. Not real worried about. I mean, whatever. It is what it is. Hopefully, we get Matt Barnaby back, and if not, we go to the bracket.
let's go to the bracket and wait for Barnaby. I got a feeling this is it.
He's made his cameo.
I mean, he's on a hooky fluky golf cart there. I mean, you're not gonna get a signal. He does a podcast. He's got a house with a mic. You go to the mic.
All right.
What do you think? Is some kind
Let me
of
pull the
third-rate
bracket.
show?
Well, I messaged him. I told him we lost you. So, all right. Well,
All right.
we had him for a minute.
Can't say we didn't deliver.
Right. He was on the show.
I saw him. We must press on.
All right.
Like the beaches.
We go back to the bracket. If Matt comes back, we'll get him back. So let's see. I don't even remember where we are in the bracket. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. We're at matchup number 37. You can see this on the screen, right, Eddie?
Yes, I can, sir.
All right. So we have arrived at matchup number 37, and we have Ulf Nielsen breaking his ankle in a game in 1979, which of course was the birth of the Potvin sucks chant. Many fans felt it was a dirty hit by Potvin. Ulf Nielsen said otherwise on this program. He said otherwise. We've discussed it 100 times, so I don't know if you have anything you want to add to that.
No, just that recently we found out that you're not a real fan if you don't do the Potvin sucks chant.
Right.
Did this affect playoffs in later rounds? Did this affect, did it have a long-term effect on Ulf Nielsen's career? I mean, I talked to Ulfie. He had a lot of injuries even before this. But could Ulf Nielsen have made a bigger impact with the Rangers had he not broken his ankle? Surely. But that's pure conjecture on our part. But it has, in Ranger lore, been one of the biggest things to remain. So that's all I have to say about that.
All right. And up against Ulfie in this round is the Adam Graves suspension, the 1992 playoffs. We all remember it, or at least most of us do. Adam Graves getting suspended for a slash on Mario Lemieux. He was suspended for the remainder of that round. He was suspended for a couple of games, I think. Mario missed the rest of the round. The Rangers wound up losing that series. We can see how the fans voted. The fans voted for Adam Graves. How do you feel on this one, Eddie?
Well, I mean, why is the Adam Graves suspension so bad? Because it was.
I think it comes down to
Lemieux.
I think part of it is because it was Mario Lemieux. I think part of it is because a lot of people, myself included, think that was a Stanley Cup team that was derailed.
Well, didn't it also take Lemieux out of the series?
It did.
Okay. So what was that? Just the reason for Rob Brown to take over and score against us? Some idiot.
Well, Jock Collender gave him a
Jock
chance to come alive.
Yeah. I mean, Ulf Nielsen. I don't know. I'm close on this. Just because of the lasting effects. Yeah, how many times do people say, "Oh, that '92 team, we really had it"? I know you believe that, and we believe that. But maybe that's what it's about. It's about us. It isn't about the layman who just does the "pop and sucks" chant. Probably
Right.
doesn't know what actually happened. I would take it to a room vote, but the room is fucking stalled for me. It's marked
Me too.
stalled.
I haven't seen a message since the last message I have is from Sean McCaff before Matthew Barnaby made his cameo appearance on this program.
I still got Matt Morello saying, Jim, thanks for today. I couldn't get that chart from the 70s, 80s in the blue seat out of my head.
I've got messages since that, but
that's how stalled I am. How Mark stalled I am. But I won't refresh because that usually turns into a total shit show. So, Jim, I don't know.
Okay, now I can see the. I got the. I pulled up the YouTube channel here, and I see the people messaging. Let's see.
Hey, listen. Sometimes it's not running on all cylinders. That's all I can tell you.
Right. Sean McCaff said, "I feel bad for whatever patient Jen is working with right now." John Riggs said that Matt Barnaby tried to call in via smoke signals.
All right, I see it now.
Graves, Chris Johnert says Graves was worse. Howie Sussman says the 92 team was solid. That's all I got. That's all I see in the comments
that's all
here.
that people have come in.
Yeah, nobody else has voted except for Chris Johnert.
Well, since it's Chris Johnett's birthday,
right,
I'm going to give him a present. I'm going to go with Adam Graves' suspension of the 92 playoffs. My friend Jim Schmiedenberg believes, and my co-host believes that Rangers were destined for good things. But apparently taking Mario Lemieux out of the series wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. So we're going to go with Adam Graves' suspension of the 1992 playoffs.
All right. There it is. Howie, for what it's worth, Howie Sussman also voted for Adam Graves. All right. So Adam Graves, the Adam Graves suspension moves on to the Hess Station Sweet 16.
Okay. I know Alfie will be disappointed, but listen.
Next up, this is going to be a fun one. This is the one we looked forward to from the first round because we literally have we have the Islanders basically up against the Islanders here. It's two forms of pain at the hands of the Islanders, and which is worse. So we're going to start off with the Islanders dynasty, which started in 1980, and they won 4 cups, 81, 82, 83. We all know what happened. Beating the Rangers a couple of times in the playoffs on the way to those cups, including the Ken Morrow overtime goal, which is also somewhere in this tournament. And you know, at the time, like I've said this before, I grew up in Bayonne, New Jersey, which for some odd reason was a very Islander heavy, at least neighborhood. I remember there was an Italian deli a couple of blocks from my house that always had Islander jerseys hanging in the window. The guys used to poke fun at me when I went in there with my Rangers gear on. Everybody in my neighborhood was either an Islanders fan or a Flyers fan. There were no Ranger fans in my neighborhood. So the Islanders dynasty was tough growing up in Bayonne because I was a Ranger fan and they weren't doing anything and the Islanders winning all these cups. And then, I've carried that hatred of the Islanders ever since, and I always will.
I can't believe I have to defend the New York Islanders in this. I'm opposed
Why are
to
you
this way of thinking. I'm opposed because
all right.
We had nothing. The Islanders, they won 4 Stanley Cups. They arguably one of the greatest teams ever made that for those 4 years. I don't think the Rangers this was out of their purview of what they could control. Yeah, I hated it. I went to high school every year they won. I was bullied mercilessly. That's why I'm doing this show. I'm still venting. But for God's sakes, Matthew Barnaby, former guest, will tell you how bad Brian Trottier was coach. I think he was actually coached.
Former guest of the show. Yes, he officially takes on it. Former guest.
I mean, Brian Trottier,
former guest of the show.
Manifesto. He's one of the most hated Islanders ever. Oh, he'll look good on Broad Street with the blue shirts. Yeah, he's a good fit. It's a disgrace, and they brought it on themselves. And Glenn Sather, another moron move. Even though it was an upgrade from the former coach, who was Glenn Sather.
And by the way, even though we've discussed this Trottier thing a million times and a few times just in this tournament, what we haven't mentioned is that one of Brian Trottier's assistant coaches was Terry O'Neill, who was one of the guys who went into the stands and beat the shit out of our own fans.
Oh, Terry O'Reilly.
O'Reilly. I'm sorry. What did I say? O'Neill?
Hey,
I'm sorry. I meant Terry O'Reilly. Right.
Yeah.
So
and then all the guys they turned
Trottier
down.
Wasn't bad enough. Let's get Terry O'Reilly up there.
And then you make a buffoon move. You commit to a buffoon public relations nightmare, and then you fire the guy. He doesn't even finish the season. I feel like this is more of an embarrassment brought on by the Rangers themselves. I'm sticking firmly. I mean, you guys can decide. Whatever happens. I'll be kosher with it.
Well, I'm with you. I said it in the first round. I think Brian Trottier, hiring him as head coach, I think that is one of the biggest blunders of this team's entire history.
Can you think of, like, I don't know, maybe in football, like a Giants guy you hate? That's like hiring, I don't know, think of some hated Dallas Cowboy you hate as head coach.
Well, they did hire Jason Garrett as offensive coordinator, but let me ask you this: I know this is before all our time, but does this compare to like Leo DeRocher going to wasn't he manager of the Giants? Then he went to the Dodgers when they were both still in New York.
Yeah,
is that how it was? He was the Giants manager first, and then the Dodgers manager. Do I have that right, or was it the other way around?
I think so. Yeah. It's like Bill Parcells coaching the Jets.
Right. Oh, wait, he did that. Or to be like Bill Parcells coaching the Cowboys. Oh, wait, he did that.
Oh, he did that too. Yeah, if Rex Ryan becomes the Giants coach. But anyway, just get back. I just think it's
Leo DeRocher was manager of the Dodgers first, then the Giants. He was the Giants manager for the shot heard around the world. The Giants win the pennant. I looked it up. The Giants win the pennant. The Giants win the pennant. So it was Dodgers first, then the Giants.
He brings assistant coach Terry O'Reilly, the guy who went up in the stands, another part of the one of our bracket of misery contestants. There's misery all around with this thing. It's got Sather. It's got O'Reilly. It's got Trache. It's got a manifesto by the Unabomber.
Right.
It's got competence all over. I'm sorry. I'm sticking really firmly on this. The Islander dynasty, yes, it hurt us. And I guess if it's a bracket of misery, there was a lot of misery that went with it. But if you had to put a stamp on
Look at that.
a total ineptness by this organization, especially on the slats who came in here thinking his shit don't stink, and he makes one of the worst hires in the history of the franchise.
Right. So we're vetoing this. We're vetoing this vote.
Well, yeah, I think. What did the numbers say?
The fans voted for Islanders dynasty 64-36.
Yeah, I just, if you really
overthrowing
think about it, it's close. I mean, yeah, certainly, but I really thought. I mean,
I think Trottier is worse. As bad as the Islanders Cups were, Trottier was self-inflicted.
That's my.
Like you said,
it's been so long since they won those cups. Now you can make fun of them that they haven't won a cup, and since I was 18.
Right.
Just say that. Say that. You know what? When you're arguing with an Islander fan, you haven't won a cup since Ed Geik was 18. That should be your retort.
Right.
Retard.
All right. So we're going with Brian Trottier.
What do you think, Matthew Barnaby?
All right. So Brian Trottier moves on to the Sweet 16. Which brings us to matchup number 39. Matthew Barnaby has finally read my message about how we lost him and his signal cut out. So at first he hadn't read it, so I thought, well, maybe he's just done with us. So we'll see. Maybe he's going to come back in and try again.
Maybe he was talking for an hour and a half.
I don't know.
Yeah, Matthew, we thought about the whole Slats hiring, but really that would just win.
Right.
It really would be. I mean, 7 years in the playoffs.
And
there's a lot of things.
And I mean, I do want to talk to the guy, but I don't want to interrupt his golf game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
If you don't have the time, you don't have the time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Don't drunk dial us from a golf cart.
Anyway. Former guest of the show. We'll see if he returns. Maybe it could be his second appearance. Could be the fastest second appearance on the show in history. All right. So now we move on to matchup number 39. First up is the 7-year stretch with no playoffs, which I believe started in 1998 and ended in 2004 or 5? 2005. 7 seasons without playoffs.
And how many years was the salary? What year was the salary cap implemented?
The salary cap was implemented in 2005 when they returned from the lockout, and the Rangers did make the playoffs that year.
Okay. So what you're telling me is that the New York Rangers went 7 years without the playoffs. 7 years, no playoffs, with no cap restrictions?
I'm sorry. I'm laughing at the chat room. Sean McCaff said the Islanders dynasty is worse than Barnaby trying to do an interview while speeding around drunk on a mini golf course. That's great.
Okay. Let me tell you, the fact that
that's
a franchise
fantastic.
with unlimited capital and resources could not make the fucking playoffs for 7 years is an absolute, I can't even say disgrace. It's unfathomable. Unfathomable.
Right. It really is.
I mean, especially with the bravado that Slats came in here with. So horrible, unexcusable. I can't think of any other things to describe it. And now we come to it. another thing of the past. I think this chant annoyed me more than obviously I broke a bowl when I heard the 1940 thing uttered into my phone that fateful night. The 1940 chant.
R.I.P. Eddie's Chip and Dip.
Yep. I mean, I'm going to admit the 1940 chant certainly got under my skin more than the Islanders winning 4 cups. 1940. Hearing those weaklings chant that in order to get under my skin.
Those moral degenerates.
Those the infirmed.
The infirmed. Oh, I love that word.
Just those spectacles of subhumans. Unbelievable. Again, if you had tough skin, it didn't matter to you. I mean, did it get to you guys in the chat room now that I could read you? That I could see you? I could read what you write? No, nobody wants to participate tonight. Maybe we can get Matthew Barnaby on this show.
Everybody's still reeling from that appearance by Matthew Barnaby. It's one of the best interviews we've ever done.
Well, I heard he said Gretzky could drink and
right. Gretzky could drink and play golf. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
I'm pretty sure Neil Smith was GM of the Islanders longer than Matthew Barnaby was on this show. Mike Piazza was a Florida Marlin longer than Matthew Barnaby was on this show.
I think it was a stellar appearance. The man took the time in between holes to close.
Chat room. This in from the chat room. Got to find humor in a bad situation. Pure disrespect by Barnaby. Just sit down somewhere for 15 minutes and then go back to playing with your club and balls.
Oh, I like that. The wrath. You don't mess with the underground.
That's right. We take care of our own here. Everybody comes over to boards the minute there's a problem.
That's right. We stick up for teammates here.
That's right.
So what do you think, Jim? See, I'm on this.
You know, I think for me,
you go ahead.
The again, I think the 1940 chant is another one of these things where if you ask me in 1993, it's probably one of the worst things on this list. You know what I mean? But it's over. They put that to bed, and now we're gearing up for the 1994 chants, which should be coming pretty soon.
Yeah.
So for me, the 7-year stretch with no playoffs, for this team to go from Stanley Cup champions, literally transcending sports. I mean, that's the biggest. I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that is the biggest hockey story since the 1980 Olympics. That's the biggest story in hockey in the last 40 years, besides the 1980 Olympics. I mean, they were celebrities. They were everywhere. I'll never forget the Rangers. Mark Messier, and I think might have been Brian Leach going on the MTV Video Awards or Music Awards, and the crowd chanting, "Let's go Rangers." I mean, they were huge. And then, of course, they shut down the league at the worst possible time. So the 1940 chant, it's old news to me. The 7-year stretch to go from winning the cup in 1994, and then 5 years later or 4 years later, they begin a 7-year stretch of ineptitude unmatched in this franchise's almost 100-year history. To me, that was worse. The parade of alumni that came through this organization in those years, the Mike Dunhams, the Roman Indoors, the Jason Doigs, the who fought Matt Barnaby, by the way. That was a good fight. When Doig was with the Caps. Just the parade of absolute crap year after year, and bad coaches, bad management. And Glenn Sather, yeah, they came back after the lockout and started to improve, but he did things that set this franchise back 10 years. And I don't care how much people want to kiss his ass. I don't care what they say on MSG Network. I don't care what Larry Brooks says about him. The man was an absolute failure as GM of this franchise, and he presided over a big portion of that 7-year stretch. So to me, yeah, that was worse.
And I think Jonathan Riggs makes a really great thing. They stood with the same formula of trying to buy players, buy a team over and over and over again. It's like that saying they have of the definition of insanity, trying the same thing, it not working, but each time expecting different results. I think that was the Rangers were looked upon, and even more, and still lingers, as the team that has to go for the shiny new toy. They spend. It's the Leafs or the Rangers, but the salary cap made them get their act together. It really did. They had to start drafting well. They couldn't just buy players. So I'm interested to see what the numbers are, but I believe it's the 7-year stretch with no playoffs.
Only 2 votes on this? 50-50.
Wow.
Let's see what the
chat room looks like. It's
looking at the chat room here. What do we got here? Playoff drought. I see that. I only see 1 vote, but it's for the playoff drought.
The 7-year itch.
Gus says the 7-year itch. Wow. The dark years were particularly painful.
Matthew Barnaby voted both those votes. He was drunk.
I'm on the 7-year. What's your official vote? Your vote is for the 7. Who is
me? Chris Johnard is a contrarian. He's going 1940.
Oh, he went with 1940. Andrew Conforte is with the playoff drought. It looks like the dark ages, the wilderness years, is winning over in the chat.
Yes.
Is that your vote, by the way?
Real estate available that I could buy? I'm sorry.
Is that your vote, Eddie, for the 7-year stretch?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So we're just going to confirm this as the winner by a slight margin. And the 7-year stretch with no playoffs will move on to the Sweet 16. Which brings us to our next matchup. And hang on, I just got to find some numbers here. All right. Okay. Matchup number 40. First up, we have the Wade Redden signing. Wade Redden signed in 2000. Is that 2009 or 2010 that he got that contract?
Oh boy.
2008-2009 season. He was signed for 5 years, 6 years, $39 million. Average cap hit of $6.5 million. Yes. You realize Matthew Barnaby's not here anymore? He left?
Where's Barnaby? Where's Cutter?
I don't know.
I mean, he was so
not here tonight.
Bracket last week. I thought he'd be here again.
Is it Mondays? Mondays, I think, are he's got something going on Mondays. I seem to remember that he misses Monday night shows. He's got
gets his bangs trimmed.
bang strip.
That rhubarb beer.
It's the night he cleans the carpet or cleans the cat. I don't know, one of those.
Oh God. All right. This is, and then refresh me on the Ron Francis game 4. This is the goal that beats Richter.
Yeah, the goal from basically the blue line, just a nothing shot, a dump in late in the I want to say second period of the game. Rangers are ahead 3-1. Richter lets in that goal. Rangers get blown out in the third period and then lose the next 2 games and the series is over.
Sean McCabe makes a great point here. The Wade Redden signing actually instituted an NHL rule change. And,
That's true.
And
that's very true.
Because we have that audio clip, which I don't know if we have available, which we got from Glenn Sather for the reason that we got Wade Redden. When the rest of the league laughed at us, I mean laughed, that we overpaid for this bum, that he was the best first passer in hockey.
Right. I'm looking to see if I have that clip.
The quips about why Cutter is not here are awesome. Andrew,
I don't have that
reloading.
Glenn Sather clip.
Okay, he's
Cutter's in his 12,000
helium.
Staples interview. It's shock treatment
Monday
day.
Is shock treatment day for Cutter. Yes.
He meets his voice coach. Monday is when Cutter goes and buys baggy sweatpants that will moon everyone globally from the mental ward.
I will say that I would think Cutter would be here because Matt Barnaby is a former Kitchener Ranger. And you know how he likes to go on about Kitchener.
Yeah, Barnaby was a coach up there.
Yeah, he was the coach. When he wasn't drunk, golfing, or using his 1G phone.
Or on this broadcast.
Or on this broadcast.
John Riggs has it right. Wade Redden's signing was classic. I'm the smartest guy in the room, Sather.
Yes, definitely, Jonathan. And
there was only one vote
Francis
on this, and it's for Ron Francis. So this will be easy to figure out. We can go whichever way we want.
I'm going to go with the permanent damage the Wade Redden signing did and how bad it was. And again, embarrassing. Adding the legacy of how the Rangers overpay for everybody and always get screwed. And then we had to bury him in the minors.
Right. Forcing a rule change.
Forcing a rule change.
All right. So we're going with Wade Redden here. He will move on to the Sweet 16. All right. Let's see. Where are we at time-wise? It is 8:15. I'm assuming that Matt Barnaby will not be rejoining us at this point.
I mean, he checked his
Let's
when it was the time to come on.
Right. So, let me see. Why don't we talk to Costa real quick, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, we'll talk to Costa and we'll wrap it up.
All right, we could do that. What's up, Costa?
Who's your engineer? Huh?
There he is.
You got oh my god, you guys, I want to fucking I mean, the feed is horrible tonight. Why?
Feed?
Yeah, the feed is horrible.
What the text or just us?
No, like the video feed is horrible tonight.
Looks good over
Absolutely
here.
horrible.
Everybody else?
I hear reverb. I hear this. I hear that. I mean, Barnaby, that was a friggin' disaster. I mean, like I said,
It wasn't our fault. It's on a golf course on a golf cart.
That part I understand, but it was like he was in the boondocks somewhere.
Oh, that's not my fault. It's not our fault.
I get it. But I mean, outside. I mean, but at the same time, let's take that whole thing out of the equation. I hear a lot of reverbing. I hear a lot of there's the what the fuck.
The
reverb. I mean,
how about the reverb?
Lagging.
Bad the reverb.
Shut up.
But, you know, the reverb. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it happens. It ain't a perfect science over here.
Like I said,
you want me to get Thomas Edison from the grave and fix all this stuff?
Me or freaking at least me or Chris. Get Chris on the horn and let him be like the engineer, the producer,
You guys
or
want to
some
be
shit like
engineers?
that.
Fill out an application.
Right. We'll get back to you. We'll have Matt Barnaby interview you.
Oh, what Jim is salty. He is salty about man. Listen, holes, all drunk and shit to call in. A lot of respect.
And he looks like an AIDS patient too. Jesus, I mean,
he's
here, Matt. I got some fat here. I'll give you some fat and make it look healthier. Eat, mind, you know. Seriously, he looks like thin as fucking rail.
He's skinny.
He's getting skinnier. Most ex-players get heavy.
He's skinny.
And he's
look at Gretzky.
Go look at Brian Leach on his show.
Look at Gretzky.
Go look at the video. Go look at the video of Brian Leach on his show.
What does he look like?
Brian Leach went the other way. He looks like Bobby the Brain.
He looks like Bobby the Brain Heenan now, Leach.
Hold on.
What, Leach got fat?
That's what Jim is saying. He got a little chubby.
Hold on.
Remember Bill Madlock after he left baseball? He was fat as a house. Not that being fat is a bad thing. Like,
look at Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer really let himself go.
Really? Wasn't for a role?
He's also been very sick.
He is?
Val Kilmer. Yeah.
What is he? He's got a stomach ache. He's eating too much. Tell him lay off those gallons of ice. Oh, wow. Who the fuck is that?
That is Brian Leach, my friend.
Hey, man, hey. I'd rather that don't look so bad, in my opinion. In my humble opinion.
I just look at the face. We still got the nice traps there.
His face looks his face. So you know.
Right now.
But Barnaby, oh my God, Barnaby, Matt, eat something. Manja.
Right now, Brian Leach has been on longer than Matthew Barnaby has. Hey, there you are, Matt. Hey, I saw you again.
There's Matt. Matt Barnaby live on the show, ladies and gentlemen.
There he is.
We should go through a couple of his podcasts and edit them and figure out, like ask questions and then he answers them on his podcast to make it look like he's here, right? So, Matt, how's your golf game?
Well, we'll see if he tries to make it up. That's good.
I'm sorry, you look healthy. You don't look so healthy, Matt. I'm telling you.
different? I haven't seen him in a long time.
It's fine.
I mean, Leach is Leach. You know, Leach. I'm not gonna rag on that he let himself go a little bit.
So, other than bashing the broadcast and bashing former guest Matt Barnaby, do you have anything else? Do you have anything like that you want to talk about?
Do you think they kicked the can down the road with the CBA?
Oh, you mean do I think they kicked the can
down the road?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, now what are we gonna do about? I mean, Tony DeAngelo's gonna want to get paid. Now we have a flat. Now there's a flat cap. What now?
I don't know what they're gonna do.
I mean, unless he'll take a bridge deal for like 5.5 until he goes UFA.
I just thought. I don't know. I feel I'm still down back to where I was. This whole Matthew Barnaby's got me down. Why are we even fucking discussing the playoff? It's so ridiculous. We're being strung along. It's not going to happen. It's 4 months. How long have we not played hockey? 4 months. Every piece of energy that has been sucked out. It's gone. It's the past. It's got. Just start the next season. Fuck the Stanley Cup. Decide what you're going to decide.
Hey, man, if we win the cup, you'll eat those words, Eddie. I'm telling you, man. If we win the cup, you'll be eating those words.
Now, I say, I proclaim on July 6th.
The Rangers win the cup, if they win the cup, Eddie will be on the golf course with Matt Barnaby.
That's right.
Up, go.
I'll be calling into the show. I'll mail it in. I'll be like, hey, Jim, I'll do well. Whatever it takes. I don't know.
Jim, what's your ISP? Your internet? Who's your provider? Is it Comcast?
RCN.
Oh, okay. Thank God. Not Comcast.
Mine's Radio Shack.
Those fucking scumbags.
Would you like to know my internet speed? I can report I can report in my internet speed if you'd like. I mean, I could do that.
Yeah, mine's 200 down and 30 up.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I'm at 920 down, and let's see,
920 meg
up. Yep, 936 actually, and about 30 up. What's that?
We have 920, like almost a gig down.
Almost a gig, yeah.
Damn, good for you. Good for you, Dad.
They've upgraded us. They've upgraded us a few times, and now on my computer, hardwired to the modem, I'm almost a gig.
Good for you. Good for you, Dan.
And what's yours at home? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. What did you say yours was?
Mine is 200 down and 30 up.
Maybe you're the one that needs an engineer.
Pipe down.
I should have woo you.
Well, you're probably running fiber optic.
What do we got? We got Optimum, right?
Yeah, we got fucking we're still on fucking coax 3.0 DOCSIS.
We got the coax.
Yours is probably worse than mine, Eddie.
Shut up, Dick. I don't know how to check it.
Matt Barnaby called in on a 28.8 modem, by the way.
What did he call on?
A 28.8.
Is BlackBerry?
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry. If Matt comes on next week and gives us his time, we'll all be forgiven. Yeah,
of course, that's how it works. That's how it works.
It'll be all nicey nice. All is forgiven.
Absolutely. You got Sean McCaff posted a picture in the group. Wait a minute, hold on, I gotta show you this. Wait a minute. Hold on. You're gonna love this. Here we go. Here it comes. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
Wow. Yeah. All right.
Somebody actually sent him a shirt with that mug shot on it, and he wore it for one of his podcasts.
Yeah, he's a real comedy genius.
Oh, he is. It's fantastic.
He's all over it.
Right.
All right.
That's all I got.
All right,
I
Costa.
got no more.
All you have is criticism
All right,
tonight.
next time. Yeah, I'm punching on Maverick.
All right.
All right.
Okay, be good. Take care. Bye-bye. Pain in the ass.
Well, there
That's
you
it.
have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks to Matt Barnaby for coming on the show. Great guest.
He comes on and complains about everything.
Right. I think I liked Matt Barnaby better with his connection on the golf course than Costa's phone call. Wayne, Gretzky, drinks, golf, money game, nice weather. Oh, there goes Eddie. Anyway, complete shit show tonight, but we'll get through it. We'll finish the bracket next show, and maybe we'll have hockey back by then. Who knows? Or I should say, maybe we'll know more about hockey coming back by then. See if they survive another week without the COVIDs. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up. I don't know if Eddie's coming back in or not, so I'm just gonna end the show. We'll see you guys next week. We love you. Take care. Good.